Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank our witnesses for being here today, and your work's vital to keeping our department fully manned and staffed and capable and ready for its mission. And I appreciate your commitment to our service members and to their families, so thank you for all that you do. Ms. Kelly, as the Space Force plans to nearly double in size over the next 5 years, how are you expanding recruiting and pipelines to meet in-strength targets while maintaining the quality of technical talent?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the question. It's certainly one of the most strategic challenges that we're working right now today. One of our primary goals is to ensure that leveraging the partnership that we have with the Air Force, we can mutually increase the throughput for our training pipelines, but we're also looking at creative solutions to take on some of that training burden ourselves for the Space Force. Historically, we do rely heavily upon the Air Force for help, but in order for us to make some of this increased climb that we're expecting to see, if supported by Congress, we're going to need to do some other creative things. The technical side of what we're doing it has a challenge of desk space, and making sure that you've got the right qualified instructors. So we're actually pushing a lot more of qualified instructors to our training units in order to increase the uptick and the training pipeline throughput. The other thing I would offer to you, sir, is that we do still have a lot of demand signal that has historically far outweighed our ability to bring people in. And we've seen a very high caliber of individual who is interested in coming to the Space Force. So we're encouraged by that data that the quality is not the immediate concern. It's working through some of the brick and mortar and instructor challenges to get more through the pipeline.
Yeah, I represent the U.S. Air Force Academy. How are you partnering with the U.S. Air Force Academy to make sure that you're meeting the Space Force's demand?
Yes, they've been an outstanding partner for us, sir. We get approximately 10% of the cadets that come through each class every year come to the Space Force. We also have instructors and academic cadre that we have at the Academy to partner with them. The other thing that I think the Academy's done a fantastic job of is inculcating space curriculum throughout their programs, and that's not specific to those individuals who may go to the Space Force. That's for the entirety of the cadet body, and I think that's absolutely the right answer. They've been a great partner, sir.
Great. That's good to hear. General Miller, the Air Force's FY27 budget request suggests cutting adoption assistance for service members funding by half. Why is the Department of Air Force seeking these cuts, and how do you think this reduction will affect the quality of life, retention, and family readiness for eligible service members?
Yes, thank you for the question. I will say that we are cutting it, but we are cutting it based on the numbers that we had previously in 2025. So we looked at the data for the last year and determined that the amount that we had set aside was not fully used, so we reallocated it. So we cut it back with the understanding that should there be more desire for it or more requests for it, that we will work with our FM partners, and they are tracking that as well, to increase that so we can support all of our airmen and their families.
So you believe the demand, you'll meet demand with
Yes, sir.
the budget that
Yes,
you have?
sir.
Okay. Ms. Kelly, the ongoing challenges in getting care, especially for behavioral health, and for those outside the continental United States, how's the Space Force working to improve medical readiness and access for members in remote locations?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the question. We rely heavily on the Air Force medical infrastructure and Air Force medics to help in those particular areas. But what I think is unique for our model and specific to your question, especially in some of those remote and austere conditions that we do have, is we've established our own resiliency team network. We call it GRIT teams, Guardian Resilience, that includes not just physical health and strategies, but mental health as well. We have licensed mental health providers, we have physical strength and conditioning coaches, we have holistic health integrators. We've created a model that is not just aligned to every unit, but we also have a virtualized team that is designed specifically to help augment where we have some of those OCONUS challenges. So it's a known challenge that we have to address. We're meeting head on, and the Air Force has been a tremendous partner in helping us as well. I will say that as we grow as a service, the Air Force medical community is going to need support from Congress to grow as well, so that they can meet the total demand of both airmen and guardians. But I very much appreciate the question, and we're on it.
Great, thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'm just a freshman, so I better stop. I yield back.